In the year 911, a storm was brewing on the northern shores of France. Viking ships, dark silhouettes against a thunderous sky, cut through the cold waters of the English Channel. The air was thick with anticipation as these fierce warriors, led by the infamous Rollo, approached a land that would soon be theirs. Their journey had been long, their conquest brutal, but now Normandy, a fertile land on the edge of the Frankish kingdom, awaited them. This was not just another raid. This was the beginning of a new era for the Vikings. Their swords would no longer only reap blood and fear. They would carve out an empire. Rollo, a figure who would become both feared and revered, was no ordinary Viking. He was a warrior, a leader, and a man driven by a hunger for power. But as he set foot on the soft soil of Normandy, something changed. It wasn't just land they sought, it was legitimacy. Rollo's men were no longer mere raiders. They were settlers, determined to forge a future that stretched beyond pillaging. Normandy, with its fertile fields and rich resources, offered an opportunity for wealth and influence, far beyond the treasures of the sea. Through treaties and alliances, Rollo transformed from a Viking marauder to the Duke of Normandy. The French king, Charles the Simple, desperate for peace, offered Rollo land in exchange for loyalty. This was a deal that would alter the course of history. In a grand ceremony, Rollo swore fealty to the king, becoming the ruler of Normandy, but the price was steep. Rollo's people were expected to settle and live as Christians, to swear allegiance to the King of France. But these were no ordinary Vikings. They had long sailed under the banner of the Norse gods. To them, this new life under the Christian king was a bitter pill to swallow. Normandy became a thriving new kingdom, with Viking settlers integrating into the region, but it was not without its struggles. The Vikings were warriors at heart, not farmers. Yet in time, they built their villages, plowed the land, and cultivated crops, filling the coffers of their new duke. But as Rollo's power grew, so did the tensions within the land. The legacy of Viking raiders was never far from the surface. Battles with neighboring tribes and kingdoms were frequent, and with every victory, the reputation of the Normans expanded. With Rollo's reign came a new sense of unity and purpose. But not everyone was pleased with this Viking presence in France. Political intrigue simmered and tensions rose. Rollo's successors, particularly his grandson William the Conqueror, would carry the legacy of the Viking conquest even further, turning Normandy into a launchpad for ambitions that reached all the way to England. As the Vikings settled into their new role as lords and knights, the world would come to witness their incredible rise, from merciless raiders to the rulers of vast kingdoms. But this transformation didn't come without cost. The Vikings who once struck fear into the hearts of kings now had to navigate a new world, one of diplomacy, faith, and politics. Rollo's vision for Normandy wasn't just about land. It was about securing a future for his people. His legacy would echo through history as the Normans, a Viking foresee turned royal house, would become a dominant power in Europe for centuries to come. The Vikings had begun their journey as fierce invaders, but by the time Rollo's descendants reigned, they would be kings, shaping the fate of nations.